So when we come to the future of aviation and air transport, sustainability is the heart of it. And at the heart of sustainability, it's what the engine makers are actually doing. We're joined now by Graham Webb, who's the Chief Sustainability Officer for Pratt Whitney. Graham, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
So what exactly are you doing, Pratt & Whitney doing, to hit these amazing targets that the industry has?
Well, as a major manufacturer of engines, gas turbine engines, we have a 97-year history of developing engines that have improvements in thrust and also improvements in fuel efficiency, which then translates into reduction in carbon. And so we've been innovating over the decades, reducing continuously the emissions, the fuel burn of the engines, and we've recently done that with respect to the geared turbofan engine, where we are enabling a 16% reduction by the introduction of a gear that enables the turbo machinery to operate at optimum efficiency. And we just announced recently a GTF Advantage, which delivered another 1%. And overall, we've saved 800 million gallons of fuel and over 800,000 tons of CO2 from our customers as a result of these innovations. And so we're now taking that further. We're continuing to invest in the efficiency of our geared turbofan engines. We think sustainability starts with the gear. That's one of our prime savings. We have an overall approach, a three-pronged strategy: smarter, cleaner, and greener. The smarter is the technology piece. And so we're working the technologies to improve the efficiency of the core, going to higher pressure ratios and temperatures, while at the same time continuing to leverage the advantage that we have inherently in the geared turbofan architecture, going to larger fan diameters, increasing the bypass ratios that will make that engine even more fuel efficient than it is today. That's the normal part. Now we get into the exciting thing, and this is why it's so exciting to be in my role and have all the engineers, is that we're working on elements of electrification, and we have introduced a number of technology demonstrators, the most important of which, or largest, is a regional turboprop that we're doing in partnership with de Havilland on a Dash 8. We have our sister division, Collins Aerospace, working with funding from the Canadian and Quebec governments to introduce a 2 megawatt propulsion system where we have 1 megawatt is being driven by a highly efficient thermal engine, and then we have an electric power plant or powertrain that we're coupling together in a parallel system to deliver a 30% improvement in fuel efficiency relative to the baseline. And now we're even going further. We just announced at Farnborough this morning a Step Tech, which is a scalable turboelectric powertrain technology. And this is an end-to-end system which enables us to couple a highly efficient thermal engine, turbo generator, along with all of the relevant electrical components that are needed in order to drive an electric grid for an aircraft. And with that, we're able to drive multiple propulsors, not just one. And we're able to run these on high voltage electrical systems that will enable us to power a variety of aircraft. And it's scalable. We're starting with 150 to 500 kilowatt, and we're going to go up to 1 megawatt. So a lot of electrical power as we develop this technology and continue to scale it into multiple applications. And we even are looking at coupling that with the geared turbofan engine for single aisle applications. And so all of that work is ongoing, but we're not yet done with that. We're going into the cleaner element, which is fuels. And so obviously we've been working for a number of years, over 15 years, on sustainable aviation fuels. We're currently enabling 50% blends. We're working and have been testing 100% sustainable aviation fuel. We've had 4 major demonstrators, a flight demonstrator on a Braithen's ATR 72 powered by our PW127M, as well as a recent demonstration with Embraer on their E195, E2, and then also with Airbus, the A320neo we flew also on 100%. So our GTFs are fully compatible with those 100% fuels. And then the next and the furthest out is our hydrogen concept. So we've announced in partnership with the Department of Energy's ARPA-E, a new concept that is called HySight. It's a hydrogen-fueled, steam-injected, intercooled turbine engine. And what we're doing is we're harnessing the true power of hydrogen to capture water vapor, convert it into steam, and re-inject it to be able to manage the hydrogen and reduce NOx emissions by 80% while improving the overall efficiency of the cycle by 35%. So that's just a small amount of the spectrum of technologies that Pratt & Whitney is working on that span from ready now GTF Advantage next year, all the way out into the future when we're talking about our hydrogen-fueled engines.
Okay, but can I just ask you one thing? At the Airline Leaders Summit that was held at Farnborough, there was some criticism that everything focuses on single aisle, and yet the world's future is probably going to rely on the long-haul one. What are you going to be doing about that? Is it going to step up to be able to handle the aircraft carrying 300, 350 passengers?
Well, it is important to start small because the stakes in this game are very, very high. The safety elements of all of this new technology have to be proven and demonstrated. And then as we get that technology to the maturity level that's required, we will, of course, scale that up to larger size aircraft. But it's going to take time. And we have to develop these engines. We have to prove and certify that they're safe, and then be able to take them to the higher levels that are required for large wide bodies.
So I'm going to push you on that. We're talking about 2050, net zero. Will Pratt Whitney be ready by 2050?
That is our plan. That is our commitment. We are fully backing the industry's overall commitment to 2050 net zero. And as we're going to achieve that, it's through these improvements in our geared turbofan technologies, as well as the electrification and the introduction of these unique concepts, such as our high-side engine that's hydrogen fueled. All together, we're going to do that, as well as utilization of sustainable aviation fuels, which is the largest part of what is required for us to achieve net zero by 2050.
Graham, thank you very much for joining us.